Hello, I'm Kelly James Barker. Okay, this is Spotlight on the Ozarks. My guest today is Tom Carter from Springfield, Missouri. And Tom is someone that I want you to meet because he done something real special for me and for why I'm even here. And so you'll find out what that's all about right after this message. Don't you leave, don't you go away. Our guest is Tom Carter on Spotlight on the Ozarks.
Hello, friends. This is Rodney Lay Jr. Are you hankering for some good country cooking? Well, look no further than the Highway 59 Cafe just north of Diamond, Missouri. Visit Miss Renee, Deb, and all the fine staff there. They also have an event center for class reunions or any large indoor event you have coming up. Yep, Highway 59 Cafe. Where the food is good and the coffee is always hot. 3 miles north of Diamond, Missouri.
Okay, and we're back on Spotlight on the Ozarks. And my guest is this gentleman. His name is Tom Carter. Tom?
It's great to be here. Thank you.
I'm glad to have you. And I remember when I was on your show, which reminds me, you gave us a coffee cup. And so we're going to give you a ball cap.
Wonderful. Thank you.
If we can find them. They're in this studio somewhere. We were looking. But I told the people at the start of the show that you're important to me, and the reason is because we had a show called Kelly's Country Junction, and this gentleman, Tom Carter, is the one that gave us a shot on television, on Ozarks Public TV.
I'm always happy the success that you've had with that show and others that you've done as a result, and I just remember it was a surprise in a way because we didn't know each other prior to that.
No.
And one day you called and talked about a TV program you wanted to do and was looking for some suggestions, a little information and things. And we met, became friends. You created this series. How many years ago? It's been running quite a while now.
Yeah, when we met you, it was in 2010 because we debuted in 2011. 2 weeks before that tornado hit Joplin.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. And then we carried that series for several seasons, and it was always very, very popular with our audiences.
We had a lot of people that always said, well, we really like that. And one of the things that I enjoyed about it was I would run into people at the store, to Dollar General or wherever it was at, and they would, especially older folks, and they would say, man, we love that show. It reminds us of, other shows or from the past. And say it's just good, it's clean, it's wholesome. And my wife and I have a date night. So every Saturday night we have this date night. And at that time you were showing a bunch of the British comedies. And then you had Red Green. And then we were on at 9:30. So it was like a whole evening of just, fun comedy and fun stuff. And so they said, that's our date night. And then we top it off with your show and said, we just love it, and the kids like it, and so we had a good run on that, and we always enjoyed it. And like I say, I'll always be in your debt to get it started for us.
Well, thank you. As I said, we're just so happy to have been able to get together and work with you on that. And again, that was just always such a popular show with our audiences. And you're right. I think the strength of it, one, it was a local show. I mean, here we're local people here in the area doing this, creating a entirely local show. It was good, family oriented. Anyone could watch it. Wonderful music, the musicians and guests that you have. It's just an excellent show.
Yeah, it was. I look back at it now. I'll watch it and I'm like, we wasn't half bad for a bunch of hillbillies, from the Ozarks. But
well, in the comedy, the skits that you all did, in addition to the music, and
it was just craziness, and I loved every minute of it. We did 6 seasons, and so I don't know what to say except it was just a load of fun. I'll probably never have a show like that again.
Your musicians. Many or all of them were professional.
Yeah.
But a lot of other cast members and people that participate in the program were amateurs in a sense.
They were.
That wasn't their background or their experiences, but again, just what a wonderful show you created.
Yeah, when I come up with it, we was in a buggy shop. We actually shot the show we showed you, the pilot, was in that buggy shop. We didn't even have the studio then, and so we took it over to Tom, and we didn't know what we were doing. We're like, we want you to watch this show and see what you think of it. And so Tom, he's real patient. He's watching it, and so he informs us that now the lighting's not good, and the sound could be a lot better because it was splattering all over. And Kathy Butler, who is the producer of the show, we were like, huh. And Kathy's like, I kind of thought that. I was dumb as the day was long. I was like, I thought it looked pretty good. So, but we learned so much from Tom and from the lighting. And so then we came back and Kathy built the studio, and we started filming. And so we tried to get the lighting right and the sound right. And so we're actually in the studio where we shot Kelly's Country Junction.
Yeah, well, you all always worked hard and you wanted a good product, and I think that showed.
Yeah. It just had so much fun doing it. So, but like I say, actually the show's about you. We talked too much about me and that show. Tom, tell the viewers, how long have you been in the TV business and what got you into it?
Well, I've been in the TV business more than 40 years, 41, 42 at this point. And what got me into it was a guidance counselor in high school.
Wow.
I knew I was going to go to college. I wanted to start studying some career path rather than waiting and decide, but I wasn't sure what. So I asked my guidance counselor for a suggestion, and she told me, well, you're interested in music and theater and writing and photography and all these kinds of things. Why don't you think about TV? And I always remember this because I thought it was very wise years later. She says, because it was true. At some point in TV and broadcasting, you'll use all those interests.
Yeah.
They'll all serve you and make the whole experience enjoyable. So that's what I did. I went to school, studied radio television, is what they called it at the time, and graduated with a degree in that, and then have been fortunate. I feel like I've never worked a day in my life because I've always enjoyed what I'm doing.
Yeah. And
it's the whole time been in TV.
Wow. I know we enjoyed being on your program, and the name of your program is?
The Ozarks Watch?
Yes.
Ozarks Watch Video Magazine.
Yeah. And we were on, Kathy and I was on that. We had a good time. And like I say, you gave us a cup. So we got to find those hats. Those hats are in the studio someplace. See, we had a product we couldn't even give away, Tom. And let me tell you a little story about me. Big professional musician I am. My first recording was in the 70s, and it was on the 8-track. So I had 50 of these 8-tracks that I made for like $500. That's a lot of money back then. I had to work a lot to get that money. So I had a friend of mine drove up in his truck, and his name is Jim. I won't give his last name. He might still be alive and watch this. I said, here, Jim. I said, take one of mine. And I said, play one of my 8-tracks. He goes, oh no. He said, my 8-track, it didn't work. And he had Buck Owens going. And it was 8-track because it just kept playing song after song. I said, you're playing your 8-track, Jim. He goes, no. I said, it is too. He finally said, I don't want one. So I'm like, I can't even give these away. So that was my big career starter right there. But,
he's lucky that he could play them. I mean, remember, most of those 8-tracks didn't work very long or very well.
They didn't last long, I don't think. I don't even know what happened to them. So not money well spent, I'm sure. I always enjoyed watching all the other shows on Ozarks Public Television. What was some of your favorite shows, or what are some of your favorite shows that you have on there?
In recent years, I say since 2003, we've enjoyed the opportunity to do local history documentaries. And they're, 30 minutes to 90 minutes, 2 hours. And it's the history of the area. And it's anything from the history of the Frisco Railroad to Route 66 in Missouri, O'Reilly General Hospital, all kinds of things. I think I've enjoyed those the most for the variety of topics and the human interest aspect, all the people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something in doing these programs. And you as an example, the people that you meet and the things that you learn, the places that you see, that's what I always enjoy about our programs. But the documentaries, the Ozarks Watch series, for the same reason. We do a public affairs program, a call-in bi-monthly that I enjoy because I feel like it helps provide some information to people on some timely topics, and they get to have their input and ask questions and things. So all those kinds of things. I think the local aspect of our programming is what I enjoy most.
Okay. And what about Terry Wayne Sanders from Branson, Missouri? He informed me yesterday he was 5 times Comedian of the Year.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I don't want to brag, but he said now 7. I said, 7? Wow. So we're going to go to a break here for just a minute, and then when we come back, I want you to kind of talk about some of the folks that you've worked with, maybe like Terry Wayne, or that and some of the other folks from the area that you've had the opportunity to meet and work with. And it's just you got a really good, interesting show, and you're such a easygoing fella. It's easy to work with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I always enjoyed it. So, well, hey, listen, we'll be back right after this messages, whatever they're going to show, and with more with Tom Carter. Don't you go away. Okay, and we're back with Tom Carter from Springfield, Missouri, and Ozarks Public TV, and we're hearing rumbles of thunder outside the studio. So I don't know if the people can hear that or not, but it's coming up a thunderstorm. Tom, I want to ask you though. We were talking about some of the people that you worked with, from whether it's Branson or just the area of the Ozarks. Do some name dropping and tell the folks of some of the folks you've worked with.
Well, I mentioned these documentaries we do. There's been 25 of those. The Ozarks Watch series, we've done 250 episodes of that.
We were one of those.
You were. And in doing those, you're the kind of people that we meet, And so all these different, unique people and their stories, sometimes, and that's the whole joy of doing those shows, really. And sometimes you meet celebrities, names that people are familiar with and things like that. And mentioning Branson, one that I always especially enjoyed, and we had the opportunity to work with him 2 or 3 times, but Andy Williams.
Okay.
What a generous and gracious and nice individual. And I remember the first time we met him, he agreed to record some promos for us for our pledge drive, and told us to come to his theater there in Branson and backstage, and he had an apartment kind of thing, living area and stuff like that, and so it was before one of his shows. So we got there, knocked on the door, he hollers, "Come in," and he's standing there in this little kitchen area and fixing SpaghettiOs before his show. Nothing fancy, nothing pretentious. He's cooking up some SpaghettiOs, knocks out these promos, and it was just wonderful to work with. Another Branson individual, Jim Stafford. Again, what a personality and what a talented individual. And he played for us, and he talked about his career coming up and how he got started. I met Walter Cronkite one time.
Wow, that's cool.
Related to some things we were doing at the university, and so that's always memorable. A lot of musicians, a lot of entertainers. We mentioned the documentaries again. The Ozark Jubilee was the first one that we did.
Yeah.
And when we did that, we were able to go to Nashville, to the Country Music Hall of Fame, and some of the people that were involved with that show, Porter Wagner was one. He very generously and graciously sat down and interviewed with us. Eddie Arnold.
Wow.
And Eddie Arnold was talking with him. It was just wonderful because, of course, I didn't know him, but called him and asked him if he would allow us to come and would he do an interview with us. Well, that door was opened. I had his phone number, and he was agreeable because of Rosie Simon, Cy Simon's wife.
Okay.
And Cy Simon there in Springfield he and 3 partners created the Ozark Jubilee series.
Wow.
But I basically said to Eddie Arnold that, Rosie Simon gave me your phone number and said it'd be okay to call you. And he said, well, how is Rosie? And that was just wonderful. He was so nice from then on. And in fact, after we interviewed with him, he very kindly said, well, can I take you guys to lunch? I mean, wow. Unfortunately, we couldn't because we had other interviews we were doing. But I thought, how generous, that man is, one of the kindest and just this superstar. I mean, he was a superstar.
Wow.
Brenda Lee, Billy Walker, some folks like that. Norma Jean.
Yes.
She wasn't in that program, but was in a later related program. Wanda Jackson.
Yeah.
But all these people in the Ozarks that are some sort of well-known, their reputation, Lowell Davis, an artist.
Yes.
Just so many. And the nice thing is, too, that often they remain friends, like you,
Right.
whatever. You kind of have contact with them from time to time and enjoy
Facebook
keeping up.
really helps.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I wish there was Facebook when I was growing up.
I don't know. They'd had pictures of me doing stupid stuff. So, Lowell Davis, excuse me, he's going to hopefully be on the show before long.
Good.
And I want to get him because you talk about a little character.
Mm-hmm.
He's an interesting fella.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. So, what about Terry Wayne? I want to get back to Terry Wayne Sanders. He's one of my best friends from Branson. Have you got to do anything or working with Terry, really?
Not directly, but I have been a fan of his. I mean, he's been around in the Branson area for a while.
Yes.
And
39 years. Probably 40 now. So.
And, it's always good to see him. He's always very entertaining. His energy seems remarkable.
I know. He's my age. And this difference is like night and day between him and I. But he's took care of his body, and I've hurt myself over the years. But, and also talking about people who are generous. You're talking about Miss Norma Jean.
Mm-hmm.
She did our show, and just really great folks like that. But the majority of people that we have from here, you hit on it earlier on the segment, they were just amateurs. I called farmers. I just knew people. I said, hey, how'd you like to be on the show? Remember Cutting Dud?
I do.
Tom!
I've seen him for a while.
Tom Carter from Ozarks Public Television.
How are you?
Well, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine as frog's hair.
Hey, listen, Dud.
Hi, Kelly.
Remember me, Dud?
Yeah.
Listen, we're trying to do an interview here with Tom.
Well, this tree's got a leak.
I don't know what to say to that. But
Looks
listen,
like it needs a little work.
Yeah.
Let's
I'm
move
going
on.
to fix it.
but the thing is, we're doing an interview, and we're on TV right now, and you're interrupting the interview. See?
Well, I'm good at interviews.
Well, we'll have you on sometime.
I'm on now. See?
I know you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's Tom. How would you like it if Tom comes breaking through here on your interview and starts talking?
It'd be okay, wouldn't it?
That'd be okay with me.
See?
Sure.
You're stirring up dirt or something. I can't hardly breathe.
Oh, I was working on a plumbing job over yonder just a while ago. And then I heard about this tree leaking. Yeah.
Well,
Maybe I ought to get back over there to that other job and let this one go for now.
Well, it might help.
Yeah, well.
But it's good to see you, though.
Tom's my buddy.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, good seeing you, man. You got to come back.
I will. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe you can come back without Kelly.
We'll do a show together.
Yeah, we might invite you. I can do the hosting. You want me to read that? I can't read. You got pictures?
No.
I'm going to go on back over there and take care. Don't let that leak on you.
Oh, no.
Yeah, leaky trees are the worst.
Yeah, okay, don't mess the setup now.
I won't.
I think I've just lost my job.
You got to take care of your tree.
Maybe lost control, Tom. I'm not sure what happened there. But see, people like that was on the show, and he just come out of nowhere. And, of course, that's Frank Howell that plays that part. And so that's always a lot of fun to work with folks like that. What about Branson itself, though? I mean, most of the entertainers you talked about was in Branson. Did you get the opportunity to go to Branson and do anything with people, or did they always come and to the studio and shoot stuff with you guys?
Many of the programs we went there, again, they were so kind, they invited us, allowed us to come to their homes and record with them. And so that was always special because then you kind of get a sense of a person beyond their stage show and things like that.
Okay. I wanted to ask you also, though, was public television, how much different is it from, because I loved it way back when I lived in Kansas. We actually got Ozarks Public TV there in Oswego. And so I would watch the guy that painted, what was his name?
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross, yeah. How has public television changed from, let's say, that era to now?
I hope the quality of programming, the level of quality always improving. But I think one of its strengths remains a couple things. Really is someone like Bob Ross that you mentioned, the personalities that are so strong and so beloved and all. And those kinds of programs that have more of a humanity, I would say, to them, human interest quality, than maybe some other commercial network kinds of programming. But I think that always a signature of PBS that continues to be is the focus on children's programming and children's education, and that's something that has been and remains very, very important.
Do you all show, because I don't get to watch it in the mornings or anything, but do you ever show the kid shows like the Sesame Street or any of those things?
Yep, we broadcast the national schedule.
Okay.
One of the things about PBS and local stations is they do have some ability to kind of customize their schedule.
Okay.
Some stations make the decision, and we were one to largely broadcast the national schedule, and we do that to take advantage of the promotions and the information that's out there. So if someone hears that a program is going to be on a day and time, we don't want them disappointed that we've got something else in there.
Right. Okay.
So yes, whatever PBS is focusing on, and it is some well-known titles and things. Mr. Rogers, we're not airing Mr. Rogers, and no one is anymore, but he remains very important, and we, from time to time have specials and all.
Okay. It was on, I don't remember what network, but it was on one of the networks, NBC or CBS or whatever back in the day. But then, so the Ozarks Public TV, we're going to have to go commercial here in just a minute. Ozarks Public TV, though, came into existence in 75?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Seemed like I've seen it before then. I'm so old, I just seem like it's been here forever, We'll be back right after this message from these folks with our guest, Tom Carter from Springfield, Missouri, and he is the director, I believe that's right, at Ozarks Public TV?
Well, yes, programming and production director.
Yes, okay, I got it. Very good. That's okay. That's just, they're letting us know it's time to go to commercial. We'll be back right after this.
Hello, friends. Have you ever longed for that taste and feel of yesterday? Well, if you find yourself around the Carthage, Missouri area, look no further, because the Circle E Country Market is the place for you, with fresh homemade sandwiches. Fresh because they bake their own bread right there. Also send you home with fresh deli meats and cheeses from the deli counter. You'll also find something for the kids anytime. You can sit outside and enjoy a sandwich and a drink, and you never know when Chigger Lee and the Critter Cousins might be outside right there picking a tune. There's fresh cookies as well that'll help your sweet tooth right along. So visit Sean and the friendly folks at the Circle E Country Market for a taste of yesterday.
Well, we're back, and we're going to do a little wrap-up here with Mr. Tom Carter from Springfield, Missouri. We had a little action there when we went out a while ago.
Yeah, a little surprise.
That was your phone, wasn't it?
Yes.
That was your phone. They didn't know how to run the phone. They're doing this timer, see, and it's this is a big production. Usually it's just me, my guest, and one cameraman, and they're the director and everything. But today I've got a sound man, and I got a cameraman, and got Gun Dead, which I don't know what we're going to do with him. But so we're just doing the best we can, but we're having fun, and that's what it's all about. And that's what you've done, is have fun doing your job.
Yep. Always I said over 40 years at this point, and again, I just the only way I can articulate is I've never felt like I've worked a day in my life.
I haven't really. I've always been in some kind of entertainment. Well, I mean, I've done other jobs, but because when I started off, I have slept in cars. I've slept in the alleys. I've ate cookies out of trash bins. And so I paid my dues for what I've tried to do. But and I don't consider myself arrived, and probably never will. But I've really enjoyed what I've got to do. I've got several shows on ROKU, so and I love that. And but our shining moment will always be Kelly's Country Junction on Ozarks Public TV.
Well, and ours as well. Thank you.
And of course, then it took it to some other networks. The Heartland Network it went to, and it went to Dish Network through Blue Highways and another PBS station down in Tulsa, RSU, I think it was. So we had a good run and we had a lot of fun. Now they can watch us on the ROKU channel where you're watching it right now, probably. So, yeah. Tom, I appreciate you being my guest today, and I've been wanting to get you for a long time to come because you had, like I said, gave us such an opportunity on not only for the show, but then you had Kathy and I on to do the Ozarks Watch show. Now, are you making any new ones?
Yes, this in fact is our 20th season for that series. So we are in production now. We'll have 15 new episodes. Wow. They'll begin airing. We're in October now as we record this, and they'll begin airing in a couple of weeks.
Wow. Okay. Good. Great. Keep me informed, and maybe we can do a little spot and telling people where to watch it.
Sure.
Everything. That'd be cool. All right. And if you want somebody to come on and play a little folk music sometime, call me. And me and Kathy, and we got this little band going.
That'd be great.
So you got to plug yourself, folks, wherever you're at. Because they're talking a while ago, they're going to take me out of the picture. So, I may not be back next week. And anyway, Tom, thank you, sir.
Kelly, thank you for inviting me.
All right, sir. Tom Carter from Springfield, Missouri, and Ozark Public Television. And he's over there playing with the phone. Folks, I'm Kelly James Barker. We'll see you next time on Spotlight on the Ozarks. Oh, Lordy.